And is I'm deep on I'm deep on my studies right now, right? So I go through different time periods. I go through different time periods. I'm gonna talk about something I call the supermind, and it's actually a program to optimize, your best mind, to tap into your higher self, whether it's like super intelligence. It's like being able to do anything, right? And in your supermind, you can do anything, right? But it's a way to be able to get yourself to that place. And there's this step program where you create a file on yourself, right? And this file got your personality test, it got your astronomy, it got your astrology, it got your Kabbalicism, it got your numbers, it have your name, it has your personality type as far as your intelligence type, right? It has all of these different things about yourself. And what this does is it gives you like a file like the CIA would have on you, right? Or a file if you're thinking like MIT or someplace will study. And so it's the same way that everybody needs to study themselves, because it allows you to have the greatest base of knowing yourself and why you do everything and how to optimize yourself, essentially how to make yourself better, right, with the things that you do. So there's a reason why you may start off with a good idea, but you never get to the finish line, right? And so having a super mind, you want to get to that finish line, right? Even from a standpoint of biological, right? Understanding what you need to intake within your body in order for your body to have the highest level of energy, what you need to utilize for your brain in order for you to increase memory, what you need to do in order for you to enjoy activities for dopamine that makes what you're doing pleasurable. All of these different things are important because a lot of people, like even you talk strengths versus weaknesses, that's a SWOT analysis, right? But you need a file on yourself so that you can start building up the supermind. Then it goes into metaphysical principles, being able to utilize occult technology, right, and esoteric technology, right, and that's more so ancient wisdom. That's why I talk about hemisync, lining up the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. Give me 1 second, matter of fact, because I want to make sure that y'all, because I'm going to drop, I got a few different things I'm going to talk to y'all about. I ain't been live in a minute, but it's been a little busy. So let me put a way for after I'm done talking, y'all can lock in. If y'all notice, I haven't been texting a lot because I'm about to change the way I do my texting for the community, because they be trying to charge me like $10,000 a month just to text y'all because there's so many people on the list. And by the time I'm done texting in a month, that's millions and millions of texts. So I can't do that no more like that. You feel me? Keyword. That's what I need to do. So yeah, we changing everything. And so one of the consistent things that I get every single day is, can I mentor you, right? And it's been on my mind because I'm like, yo, I really do need to figure out a way to create a system, right, where people can get mentored. And so that's what I've been thinking about. I've been figuring out ways to optimize that and what's the best way, because what I want people to get from it, right? And let me start, I guess, from the problem. One of the biggest problems that people have, is not being able to finish things. I think that procrastination is possibly should be categorized as a mental illness, right? Procrastination should be categorized as a mental illness. That first topic is supposed to be Wakanda, not Wani. Let me put this up there. Because focus is probably one of the hardest things to obtain, but focus comes from discipline, right? And so a lot of people can't have focus and or discipline. Then you have your spiritual issues as well. The deep ingrained metaphysical attachments, the non-material things and non-physical things that are attached to you, the immoral balances, that you may have that you may not know how to even those scales out, because Western technology does not have a complementary science towards spirituality, right? So therefore, when you're having spiritual issues, you may deal with them from a mental standpoint. You talk to a psychiatrist where they're going to give you some drugs, a psychologist where they're going to talk to you, right? But you don't have a shaman. You don't have somebody that can take you through the darkness and bring you through the light and allow you to see yourself. You know, even I went through hypnotic therapy, and we did some small forms of psilocybin, right, which is more so some mushroom therapy. But when I went through it, man, it allowed me to see my energetic aura, my energetic self, and it allowed me to clear myself, you understand me, from top bottom. And it allowed me to see exactly where a lot of my shadow issues and self was having problems and blockages, right? And when you can identify your blockages, then you may be blaming one issue on another, right? So you may be having an issue in work and taking your business to the next level because of a trauma that you had when you was a child. And so what this does is it creates a ceiling where you peak, right? To where everything that you're doing, your methods, your processes, all of those different things that you do naturally, they have a peak. I heard a sister talking about her ability to lose weight, that she had lost 20 pounds. And she said, I lost 20 pounds doing these specific things, eating a certain way, right? And that I'm continuing to eat this certain way, but I'm no longer losing weight. And that's because she had plateaued. Like this is the peak. Your body gets used to this, right? Your body gets used to the way that you eat food, and now you're just managing that level. You're no longer progressing, so now you have to switch it up, right? It's the same thing when you're working out. You have to confuse the muscle. So you might do some push-ups, incline, then you might have to switch up, then you might do some pull-ups, then you might do these, and then your body is not prepared for what's coming, and then you start to tear into the microfibers of your muscle, and then they start to grow. Like you want to work out until possibly that there's some form of pain, because what it lets you know is that you stretch your muscle and now it has to grow. So you have to break the muscle, then the muscle has to heal in, and as it heals in, it's healing stronger, right? And it's becoming bigger and more pumped up. And it's the same thing with life. You get to a certain point to where everything that you've done that gets you to this point will no longer get you to that next level, right? And so you may have a certain amount of focus, right? And I was reading a study where it talked about how a fish is focused, I think it's like 7 seconds. And they say because of social media, there's a lot of people who now have a focus that even less than a fish of like 6 seconds because of the way that we tap into information, right? We on social media, we probably give it 1.2 to 1.5 seconds before we determine whether we're going to continue to tap into this information. Our attention span decreases. So what I implement in the practice, if I am on social media, and my supermind tactic is any video I tap on, I have to watch fully. Whether it's a 1 minute video, whether it's a 3 minute, whether it's a 4 minute, whether it's a 5 minute, because I'm training my brain to be focused and continue whatever task that I get started on. You feel me? But otherwise, there's people out here with an attention span that's less than a fish of 6 seconds. They can't even hold on to attention for 7. So when you're making content for people, you have to make it to where you are factoring in this lack of attention span, right? So now I make sure that, anything I watch, I got to watch it fully. Anything I start, I got to finish fully. So it prepares my brain that anytime I get started on something, I got to go through with it, right? So you got to be careful, because the habits that you set up on a micro level attach to you on a macro level, and them factors actually have more conditions that can be repercussions to the outcome of your life. You understand me? So you might start a video for 30 seconds and then you flip. And now when you start a task of something that you need for your business, like today I was going over my website, talking to my Web3 designer and things of that nature. And I had to remind myself, like, when I'm focused on business, I can't have background noise of anything that has nothing to do with it. If I'm going to be doing business, the background noise has to be attached to some more efficient way that I can do business. So therefore, my subconscious mind is getting fed while my conscious mind is working on whatever activity and task that I'm doing, right? And that's just a supermind tactic. And there's so many different ways that a person can hack themselves and optimize their behavior. You understand me? But if I didn't go through the same issues and problems that the average person have, I wouldn't go find these processes and solutions for myself. You understand me? Then one thing that I learned was the personality test, right? Personality test there's a lot of them, but I really believe in all of them. Why? Because the more information and data you have on yourself, the better ability you have to make correct decisions that is tailored and customized to you, right? So I brought up the CIA, I brought up the FBI only because a CIA would do a psychological analysis of you. Do they have a psychological profile of who you are, what you like, what you dislike, right? What makes you tick, right? Are you this type of person that can be an agent in the field? Like they really do a whole root analysis of your childhood, everything. They know everything about you, right? So therefore they know how to push you in the field, where to place you, things of that nature. FBI, they would do a foul on you based on all of your habits, where you go to, what you doing, what's your routine, right? Who you around, what you prone to, what's your sexual habits, everything about you. So I believe in having fouls on yourself. You understand me? So therefore, when it's time for you to be able to, pull that foul and ask yourself why you do certain things, why you can't go that far, why you react to certain things, you have so much information on yourself that you know how to manipulate yourself into better behavior and to grow yourself to that next level. Because there's a handler for people that have a foul on people. They know them so well, they know how to push them. They know how to take them to that next level, right? So if you got that foul on yourself, then you know how to handle yourself, right? So I study the tactics of the CIA and the FBI and things of that nature because they are in the business of people. They are in the business of optimizing people to their highest level, to getting a supermind. I watch the videos I see the guys that be watching the military videos. I know most of them are like propaganda, but at the same time, it's a soldier's mind because not everybody can go through the Marines. Not everybody can become Semper Fi. Not everybody can, get to that highest level. And the only difference between the men who make it and the men who don't, it's not the physical challenges, even though the physical is tough, but it's the mental. Because everybody don't have the mental wherewithal to where they get past their own breaking points, right? Like your breaking points, they literally they stop you from going any further. So you got to imagine right now, if I put you on a street and that shit is going straight, there's a breaking point where every person will stop. If there's this one street, I say I need you to run as far as you can go, full speed. At a certain point, each person is going to stop at their breaking point. And that breaking point is where you're trying to push, right? Even past where your cardio system is not at the best, you're not as healthy, but your mind will tell you to keep going, and that breaking point will be like, all right, I collapse, I stop. Now there's some people that learn how to train past that breaking point, where even though their body has given up, right? Even though their mind is like, I'm done, they will carries them over past that breaking point. And when you do that, you stretch yourself to where that next level that you went to, you no longer have to go past your breaking point to get there. That's just within your standard regimen now. That's just how you move effectively, right? And this is how you stretch yourself. So by studying the biological, studying the physical, and studying the mental, you see that all things actually are complementary to each other. They are what they call fractal to each other. They're small pieces of the bigger, right? And so I study that, and what I'm putting together now is a deep layered program that allows people to tap into their supermind. So as you're moving about this world, you're like, damn, I understand. And let me tell you why, what got me there. Being around narcissistic profiles, right? Being around powerful men and their ability to manipulate everybody around them. And always looking at myself from the third. So I always give myself a third perspective in the sense that I'm looking always at my life from the outside, right? Oh, this is how this person talking to Keys. This is how Keys reacting to it, right? So as I'm looking at this thing from the third, it allows me to get a different perspective. Not, you got your perspective, the person that looking at you got a perspective, and then when you allow yourself to look outside the situation, you have a whole nother perspective, right? And it also means that the reactions that you have and the way you interact with things, you don't own them, right? One of the most dangerous things is, first, you're not a slave to them, right? Because I go in my supermind method, and most people don't catch this, when I talk about going from slaveship to mothership, right? It's going from physical to metaphysical. So we go from slaveship to ownership to rulership, and then we head over to mothership, right? And so being able to look at things from this third perspective, I start tapping into different ways that I can now change myself. And sometimes it's best done in reflection, right? Like trying to do it in real time don't work. You got to do it in reflection. So one of the best things, and I'm gonna talk deeper about this in the super mind, is how you're able to go into your past, right, and get a new perspective on everything that happened to you based on your new mind, right? So you might not like how you reacted in a certain way, but you also have to realize that you couldn't have reacted any other way based on your programming and your profile and your psychological and spiritual makeup of who you were at that time. There was no other option for you because you didn't make no other option, right? You would have only made that choice based on who you were. So it's not where I don't believe particularly in just predeterminism where everything is already predestined and that's just your destiny. I believe in programming yourself so that when you deal with certain situations, you program yourself with enough knowledge, information, training, and readiness that you're going to act in the best manner possible, right? So like each one of you all, if you face adversity right now, based on your education level, based on your environment, right? Based on your childhood trauma, right? Based on your experience, whatever situation you get in, you're going to react based on that because that's all you can react off of. When you filter your thoughts, right? Either your highest thought is going to take over your lowest thought. You have a level of cowardness, you got a level of courage, level of fearlessness, right? You're going to make decisions based on where you are in life. So then when you reflect on that, you have to ask yourself, all right, I'm looking at myself from the third. I'm not judging myself, right? I'm taking ownership over it. And when I take ownership, now I can take control, right? Because now, all right, let's say you at work, why did you allow that person or a relationship, both, same thing. Relationships is probably a bigger factor for people. Why did you let that person talk to you that way? Or why didn't you say this in a moment when you meant to communicate it out your mind? So what's going on from your thoughts to your ability to actually communicate for yourself and be outspoken? So now you know that there's an insecurity, there's maybe a lack of confidence, maybe there's a fear going on, maybe you just didn't train yourself. So how do you get it to a point where when you go back and reflect from the third and be like, all right, what do I need to optimize for myself? All right. Well, in this situation, I didn't feel confident, so I didn't speak up about it. Well, what if I learn, right, the art of confidence? What if I learn the art of speaking? That's going to increase my percentage to react in a different manner next time I'm in that situation, right? So that's kind of like third perspective programming, right? That's when you start to get into your supermind where you really start to think about controlling yourself at the highest level. You understand me? And and one thing you have to get reprogram yourself a lot is the word easy, right? Most people are always looking for something easy. You dig? Most people are looking for something easy. I don't believe in the easy. Like easy it's easy don't even matter. Easy and hard should never be a part of a decision-making process. You dig? They should never be a part of it. Easy and hard should not be a part of the decision-making process. It's just steps. Everything just steps. Everything just steps. Because a lot of people are like, well, that's not easy. Or that's too hard, right? Both of them are negative. So you're finding a way to talk yourself out of it. because you're afraid, you're fearful. Well, then the excuse brain comes. That's your little animal brain. That ain't the God brain. The excuse brain, it be talking to you all the time. And your excuse brain, well, I come from this situation. So you automatically going in your past to find an excuse on why you're not going to do something in the present and why you're not going to the next level. Well, this person has this, right? So now you start to compare yourself to others and saying, well, I don't have what they have, so therefore I can't get what they get. So your excuse brain be working overtime. That monkey brain always working overtime, right? There was a statistic that a lot of our dominant thoughts are negative throughout the day, right? Because our mind is always trying to save itself. Our body is always trying to save itself, right? And what you have to realize is that you don't need saving. So you have to kind of put yourself in the danger, right? So it's like if you go into the gym and you working out, it's like, yo, man, that's too much. Don't do another one, man. You straining. That's going to be hard as hell. So your brain is literally talking you out of doing stuff, and then you have to have another one that dominates that, like, nah, fuck that. I'm doing another one. Matter of fact, just because you said I'm doing another one, just because you said that I'm doing another one, right? So you have to create a mechanism in your brain that's consistently talking you into things because your body trying to talk you out of things. Your mind trying to talk you out of things. You did. It's like, no, don't do that. And it's not a bad thing, but it's trying to save you in case you're doing things that's not good for your survival. And so you got to tell yourself, I don't need saving. I don't need saving. I'm good. Let me run to the fire. I'm good. That's my temperature. You did? And so for me, that's what I got to remind myself of, because otherwise you're going to retort to the comfort. And you got, I don't need no goddamn comfort. Put me in the fire, B. I need this right now. I need this. Right? And that's what a lot of men and women are missing. Everybody wants the comfort. And so for women, though, women actually require a level of comfort to be at their highest level. Men require a level of discomfort to be at their highest level. And let me explain this. So like there's a one thing I'm pushing right now is soft life for women. Like women being in their softness is good. Men being in their softness is not good for optimizing behavior, because women in their softness, they naturally turn into nurturers, right? When the things around them are taken care of, then they focus on efficiency and optimizing and making everything better, right? So now that you don't always have to be in this logic brain, how do I do this? What's the process? This, that, and the third. Now your emotional and intuitive connection is heightened, because you got to be in a state of relaxation for that emotional and intuitive connection to heighten. So now you're thinking, how can I add to the things around me, because I'm feeling good, and therefore I want everything else to feel good around me. You understand me? You want your man to feel good. You want your children to feel good. That's why I said on Poor Minds, fellas, write this down. Ladies, go shopping. If you get a woman, give her some plants if she ain't got no plants. Go to her crib, go see a woman with no plants. She ain't got no life in there. How do you know she has any feminine qualities if she has no life inside her house that she's taking care of? Because you got to remember, during a pregnancy, a woman got to be in that soft life. She can't be stressed. She can't be going through anxiety. Why? Because then that's going to in turn have an effect on her bringing things to term, right? So if you want to study the conditions that a woman should be in, then you have to look at the power that a woman has. She got a womb. She can bring things to life. But in order for her to be able to bring things to life and to be tapped into her highest feminine quality, then she has to be in a soft life. She has to be comfortable. We treat people that's pregnant a little different. Oh, no, she's pregnant. Don't talk to her like that, because you know that's sensitive. She has to be able to focus her internal processes on developing this baby to this highest level, right? So when it's not an internal thing, she can take that feminine energy and create external nurturing, right? So if you are in the household and you with a woman and she is not living a soft life, then she won't in turn be able to utilize that external nurturing energy, right, to help bring more life into your situation. You dig? So it's important to understand that. Now, fellas, we operate through adversity. Testosterone wants wins. we like to think in a logical capacity at all times. So we need a little friction. Not friction coming from our woman. Our woman gives us more of a gentle challenge. Like, you know who you are, right? She gonna hit you with them affirmation like, bro, all right, you did 10,000. I love you for that, but you know you can do 100,000. Let me know if you need anything. I got you. She might bring you some ideas. You done told her something and she, oh, look, I know what you said about this. Look, here goes some research on it. Boom. Or she playing your intuition. I don't like how certain people be looking at you and moving around you and stuff like that. So now you doubled up on your abilities, right? Because you got a whole nother factor on side of you that's increasing your power, right? Now, men, we like a little adversity, so, but we, like I said, it got to be gentle challenge. You can't be a woman like, nigga, get off your shit, do this. That does not work. That's abuse. When you hear that from a woman, it's abuse. It's not actual usefulness, right? That's not how men work, because you want to encourage a man to continue to win, right? So we have to be in an affirming state, right? But the words and the vibration of a woman's tongue is so powerful that she can destroy a man. So a woman can destroy a man with her tongue, and a man often destroys a woman with, physical abuse, right? Or mental abuse, but same. So, they've done the studies where they say verbal abuse is actually a lot of times worse than physical because it's mental. You're going to heal from a physical scar, but those mental ones that vibrate in your head become hard for you to get them out of your body. You understand me? So a woman might throw some words in your body, and it's hard for you to shake that off, and you believe that about yourself. And now you have to have, somebody else vibrate some of that energy into you. I was asked today, do I do a sound bath? Yeah. The sound bath, so it's like this. Right? What this does is, it's going to cleanse whatever vibrations that's in there that's negative, right? Because when you study yourself and you study your body, some more supermind tactics, if we water, and if I speak negative or I speak positive in this water, at a proton level, the water has a structure to where it traps in frequency. So the frequency of whatever I'm speaking go be in this water, right? If I'm 90% water, 70% water, whatever you speak to me go be in that frequency. It's going to be lower, it's going to be higher. You speak love, it's going to grow something. You speak death, it's going to kill something. And basically all that's saying is it destroys the structure that allows something to grow, right? So if you see a crystal is a geometrical shape that grows and grows and grows in the same pattern over and over. When something disrupts that pattern, right, then it's no longer crystallized in that same form and shape, right? So to crystallize something in somebody's head, what you do frequently becomes your frequency. You say it over and over and over. It becomes so crystallized that that's the frequency that they now operate on. And it becomes so dominant that it's very hard for something else to come and change the frequency that a person operating on, right? So it's like, for me, it'd be very hard for a person to say something, get me to think something negative about myself, because I already think so much positive things that I would have to be in a consistent negative environment that would have to dominate the already dominant frequencies that is already conditioned within myself. You dig? You dig? Talk to me. Little sniffles. Boom. All right. So